If you're in a good space right now and you made choices that were different than what you thought, then maybe that was because down deep, Spirit was guiding you to make a change so therefore you could be more successful.
Welcome to Cards and Constellations with Bonnie Morris and Dawn Rumor Rivera from Sonoran Mystic Tarot. Here, we blend astrology and tarot to guide you through the twists and turns for the week ahead. Don't forget to hit subscribe and share. Let's dive into your cosmic journey together.
Okay, let's start the astrology. We're going to start out, as always, with the moon. This is for the week of July 14th through the 21st. Now, we're going to have, on the 17th, the last quarter moon. And as we have always said, the last quarter is when we celebrate our successes and then start to turn away. Now, to understand what we're celebrating, this quarter moon is in Aries at 18 degrees. Now, we have to step back, okay, last quarter. So we go all the way back to March 31st of 2022. It's in Aries at 11 degrees. This is a rather long step back. It's more than normal. Okay, so that's when you set those intentions, March 31st of 2022. So look back in your journals, your notebooks, wherever you've been keeping track. That's the project we're talking about. The first quarter moon was on December 29th of 2022 at 0 degrees, 48 minutes of Aries. That's when we did all the work on that project. Then the full moon came in October 17th of 2024 at 24 degrees of Aries. That's when we saw everything and we made changes that needed to be made. And now we're celebrating its success. It is complete. And then we're going to turn away and look for the next new moon in Aries. Now, it's always important to understand when it's in Aries, what does that mean? Well, we can solve problems faster than normal. It'll be important to try to slow down. Now, this moon, the last hour or two, is actually moved into the sign of Taurus. And what does that do? Well, your safety and security are going to be in the foremost of your mind. The need to be stable. It won't be easy. For those couple of hours, you need to learn to accept the changes as part of life. Find your own self-respect. Don't seek things through material ways. Okay, so let's talk about the void of course. Void of course, we have a couple of them. The first one is on the 15th at 10:09 when it leaves Pisces. And then it goes into the sign of Aries at 9:33. So we have an 11-hour void of course there. And remember, we never start new projects. We finish up everything that needs to be finished, but don't start anything new. Then on July 17th, that's when we have the quarter moon at 5:37 p.m. All times are Phoenix, so it's Mountain Standard. It leaves the sign of Aries at 5:37 p.m. and it moves into Taurus at 1 a.m. on the next day. So that's, dinner time and the rest of the evening, you don't want to be doing anything. Resting is always good. Then on July 19th at 11:43 in the evening, it's going to leave Taurus. This is a rather short one. And then at 3:22 a.m. on the 20th, it moves into Gemini. On the 21st at 12:57, it will leave Gemini and then move into Cancer the next day at 5:26 in the morning a.m. So we have some more than just a few minutes on each one of these. The shortest one here is about 4 hours. So take notes of those and make sure you don't start projects that you don't want to repeat. Now, let's see what's in your sign. Okay, Pisces, Neptune is still conjunct with Saturn in Aries. They're dancing around. They're going to be dancing for quite a long time. And although they are both in retrograde, Saturn got a late start. Neptune started on the 4th of July. Saturn didn't go until July 13th. And Saturn will come out early on November 28th, whereas Neptune will continue to retrograde until December 10th. Okay, so things are going to slow down. There'll be some looking backwards, kind of reminiscing. We also have Mercury in retrograde, so be forewarned, okay? There will be past people coming and calling, so take it easy there. Don't start anything. All right, so where was I here? Neptune is also in a trine with the sun. Now that offers compassion, creative, spiritual openness, graceful, charming, subtle magnetism, a vivid imagination, artistic gifts, and insightfulness. And of course, sympathy. Neptune is in a square to Jupiter, giving somewhat of a sense of longing for something more, but not understanding what. Be careful. That can blur those boundaries and make you struggle with clarity versus unrealistic dreams. You also have a deep compassion and strength and doing things to inspire others. I would like to mention there are 2 oppositions this week. That's a tug of war. Mars is opposite the moon. And we know the moon is full of feelings, right? Mars is all about taking action, giving you a strong emotional will, but that can lead to passionate disagreements or intention. This is helping you to learn to be emotionally vulnerable, to have emotional courage with the depth of sensitivity and a strong spirit. The last thing to mention is the sun is opposite Pluto. Okay, that happens towards the middle to end of the week, and that'll give it a little different flavor, a kind of tension between your core identity and those deep forces of change that Pluto is just so famous for. It can bring intense relationships also, but you can emerge as a catalyst for the growth. Don, what's tarot have for Pisces?
Pisces, let's see what Spirit and the universe has in store for you today in reference to tarot. 2 cards have already flown out. That's what I was just looking at going, what's up with this? 3 cards have flown out. What in the world's going on, Pisces? You have lots of energy around you, and I'm loving your bottom card. Bottom card is the energy around you this week, and this is all about taking a little bit of a break and reminiscing. This is a 9 of Cups. So you're looking at the like an inventory, taking a look and saying, what served me well, what didn't serve me well, what can I do, what can I do? And this is not about money. This is about happiness. This is about life and those kind of things. So the energy around you this week, don't be surprised if nostalgia comes in. You're going to look and you're going to see, if you liked the Stingray Corvette, you're going to see Stingray Corvette. You can say, wow, man, I remembered that car. Or if you like what they used to call them, the ragtop Mercedes that Bobby Ewing used to drive. You go, well, I remember the show Dallas or something. You're going to be in this nostalgic frame of mind. You're going to see a lot of things that are nostalgic around you. So go with the flow, because you're meant this for some reason. That's meant to happen to you this week specifically. And then the cards that popped out that are your specific cards are, first of all, the Judgment card. I'm liking the Judgment card. So if you think about it, when you talk about nostalgia and you talk about judgment, it's again the reflection. It's like looking back, saying, and where I am in life, I earned this. I did the work. I put the work in, and so it kind of you're saying, I put the work forward. I put the energy forward. I did what I needed to do. I did what I thought was best. And now I'm looking and seeing, yeah, it did turn out that way. And I'm very happy that it did this way. That's part of that reflective energy, which is nice. And so don't be surprised if you remember who shot JR. I remember who shot JR. What did I do then? And when I was that young, I thought about I was going to do this. And wow, I did that. I actually followed through with what I was going to do. Again, it's that reflective energy. So don't be surprised if you're doing that this week. And it's interesting because some of it's going to be around money. You're going to have a conversation about money. And, I wanted to be rich. I wanted to be a superstar. I wanted to do this and I wanted to have all this money. And then part of that conversation is, did I not succeed because maybe I chose a different path? And that's what I wanted to do, and I'm happy where I am. Or was it, I didn't have the skill. I knew I would not make it that way. It's one of those things. So understanding the economics behind it, but understanding your economics in the sense of if you're in a good space right now and you made choices that were different than what you thought, then maybe that was because down deep, spirit was guiding you to make a change, so therefore you could be more successful. Say you're a basketball player. You want to be a basketball player, 5'4", and I'm going to be a basketball player? I don't think so. The universe said, no, you're going to be a doctor. Get out there and get an education. And you did. And you're like, you know what? When I grew older, I realized I would never have been a basketball player and I'd be dirt broke. So I'm glad I did follow through and become a doctor. That's the kind of energy I'm picking up. It's a positive, reflective energy, but it is definitely a time of reflection. And it's interesting here too, because this is a 9 of Pentacles. And if you look at the 9 of Pentacles, the one thing about this is the universe is speaking to you. Okay, the universe is speaking to you. And the universe is asking you, again, looking at your abundance, looking at where you are, it's reminding you, give yourself a break. Give yourself a little slap on the back. Give yourself some kudos. And more importantly, embrace the fact that you are where you are. You've gotten where you've gotten because you did the work. On the other hand, that Judgment card also reminds you, you are where you are and you've gotten where you've gotten because you didn't do certain things. And you can't be blaming the universe for that. You can't blame anybody else because, again, you've been told over and over again, because, again, the universe has told you that's that thing on the end, but you didn't listen. And so I don't mean to sound mean, but even if you are on the other side of that coin and you're like, damn, life sucks right now. But in the review of why life sucks, you understand where you went wrong. There is a lesson. There is a lesson there, and say, you know what? I realized that I went off the rails and I realize I'm there. So now I'm going to make a change. So this could be, again, about change as well. The next card out is a Hangman card in the reverse. I'm so glad it's in reverse because look at this. When the Hangman card, I'm sorry, it's not in reverse. I lied. I just lied. The Hangman card. This is a card you would want in reverse. This card, when it's in reverse, see, it looks like it's dancing. And that's what you would like to have. But instead, I just threw it on the floor. So it's not even here anymore because it's just a mean card. But anyway, the reality is this card, don't be surprised if this week you feel a little stuck. Because, again, you're reminiscing and you feel like, I'm trying to understand and whatever. Let yourself have this week. Give yourself that stuck feeling and give yourself that reminiscing, because it could be part of a healing process. It could be also part of a leaping point, a leaping off point, a jumping off point, depending on which way you see it. But more importantly, it could be part of a time that you just need to appreciate and thankfulness. It's the thankfulness and gratitude. So this could be that part of that. It's saying, universe, yeah, I didn't get things right all the time. I didn't get them wrong all the time either. But I'm thankful that I'm here. And while you're doing it, by the way, this will be a perfect opportunity to have this conversation with your family. Thank your family for just being there. Thank your family for when you come home and you're tired and cantankerous and you be a little bit confrontational, that they kind of gave you that space and let you be that, because you can be sometimes, you just let them, right? So use this time as that opportunity to give your family the thanks, and they will put you on the pedestal because they still think you're king or queen or whatever the energy is, okay? Because they still love you and adore you. So with that said, I'm gonna give it back to Ms. Bonnie and say, Bonnie, what do you think about astrology in reference to what this was? Man, I'm telling you, the reflection is heavy. Okay.
Well, considering we have 4 planets in retrograde, which is all about looking back and reminiscing and slowing it down. I think that works, don't you?
I think so. Thank God we can even walk with this kind of energy. Lord have
Yeah,
mercy.
exactly.
Oh my goodness. Well, with that said, we appreciate y'all coming in. Hit that message button and leave a little comment. We do appreciate the comments very much, and we will respond to each and every comment that you offer to us. Additionally, we don't charge you anything for these, but we do ask a little bit of a payment of love in return. And how, Bonnie, can they show us that love?
Well, down in that lower right corner should be a subscribe button. All you have to do is push it and then set that little bell to all, and you won't have to hunt for us because they'll send you a message anytime we post something or if we go live. Now, if you've done that on my channel, Your Love Goddess, hop over to Don's channel, Sonoran Mystic Tarot, and do the same thing there. That's number 2. Number 3, go to Cards and Constellations. Use the ampersand there. That's important. And then for the 3rd time, hit subscribe and that little bell to all. And then someday, that's the only place you're going to find these videos.
Absolutely. Take what resonates with you, folks. Leave the rest behind. If this did not resonate, that doesn't mean it wasn't. It just meant this one wasn't meant for you specifically. So let it alone. But if it does resonate with you, again, leave a comment. We would appreciate that. Until next week, love, light, and blessings. Hit that share button, grow our channel, and we'll see you. Have a great one. Bye.